On Telegram today, Ramzan Kadyrov said that Elon Musk remotely turned off the Cybertruck that was given to him. Elon says Kadyrov is more of a TikTok warrior and should ask them for sponsorship in China. Elon Musk acted ugly. He gives expensive gifts from the heart and then remotely turns them off. Recently, Musk remotely turned off the Cybertruck. It's not manly. The junk mobile had to be towed away, Kadyrov said. Kadyrov says the Cybertruck is about as good as a pimped-out Lada. PayPal is introducing an annual fee of 3,500 rubles for Russian users for inactive accounts, starting October 7. This amount will be written off if the account has not been active for 12 months. Users who do not agree to the new terms are advised to close their accounts before the changes come into effect. Muslim Kuchiev, an assistant to the Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, proposed removing Darwin's theory from school textbooks. He says it will make citizens aware that Russia is going backwards in development. He claims that it contradicts religious education and contributes to the spiritual decay of children. Kuchiev addressed this proposal to the Minister of Education, stating that all religions have rejected the theory of evolution and that it should not be taught to children. Russian schools will limit the number of migrant species children to 3 per class, the Ministry of Education reports. The reason is insufficient knowledge of the Russian language. The document equates migrant children with students with limited health capabilities. The State Duma believes that this will help integration. Amendments are also being discussed that would prohibit labor migrants from bringing relatives to Russia. Currently, more than 180,000 migrant children are studying in schools. The state will not force Russian women to give birth, but the child-free movement should be banned by law, said Federation Council Speaker Valentina Matvienko. At the same time, she noted that the state will never allow the rights of women who cannot or do not want to have children to be violated. This is their right, Matvienko added. Belarus Lukashenko banned Belarusians from buying and selling crypto outside Belarusian crypto exchanges. There are currently only 5 legal crypto exchanges operating in the country, and back in 2021, Lukashenko introduced a ban on transfers between Belarusians' accounts. You can only receive up to 7,521 Belarusian rubles, $2,300, as a gift without paying taxes. If there is more in the account, then you will have to pay income tax of 25% on the amount exceeding this limit. Has this content been useful to you? Would you like to see more research and translation content from Beefeater Fella? If you do, and you want to stay up to date with my work, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel now. It takes just a few seconds and it's free. This is really important. Your support and recommendations can make a big difference to the channel. Finland 2 NATO headquarters to open in Finland. Military headquarters will be established in the south of the country, near the border with Russia, in the city of Mikkeli, the headquarters of the ground forces of the North Atlantic Alliance in the countries of Northern Europe, and in the north of the country, the headquarters of the Advanced Ground Forces of NATO. Propaganda in schools has been very good at re-educating young people over the past 2 years. A 9th grader from the Sudzhansky district said that after the Ukrainian armed forces entered the territory of the Russian Federation, he realized that something was wrong, and after finishing his studies he wants to join the Russian National Guard to serve the country and protect it. In July 2024, the EU imported €565.7 million worth of Russian liquefied natural gas, LNG, a record since late winter, according to Eurostat. Russian companies are increasingly paying for imports in rubles. In July, 43.7% of imports were paid for in rubles, which is 13.7 percentage points more than at the end of 2023. Sanctions today. Turkish banks refuse to process transactions from Russia. Pressure is coming from both Turkish and European banks, which are changing their compliance procedures. Meanwhile, Russia and China will switch to crypto payments to bypass sanctions. As part of the experiment, the first group of importers included electronics manufacturers, individual members of the Russian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and several banks. Norilsk Nickel is quietly moving to China. Norilsk Nickel, in addition to closing Russian copper production facilities and building foreign enterprises, is also engaged in the transfer of nickel production. The company plans to use Russia as a source of raw materials. Russia has been found to have $180 billion in shadow reserves of currency abroad. Most likely, this is money from exporting companies. India refuses to stop ammunition supplies to Ukraine. European buyers for more than a year, India has been supplying Ukraine with artillery shells produced in India, and New Delhi has not stopped these supplies despite Moscow's protests, Reuters has learned. According to 3 Indian officials, the last time the issue of Indian shells being supplied to Ukraine via EU countries was raised was by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. He did so at a meeting with Indian Foreign Minister Subrahmanyam Jaishankar in July. According to Reuters, Lavrov pressed his Indian counterpart and stressed that some of the ammunition provided to the Ukrainian army was produced by Indian state enterprises. However, New Delhi did not stop the supplies. Russia ranks 68th in the world salary ranking. According to Numbeo research, the average net salary in Russia is $559.70, which corresponds to 68th place in the ranking. The leaders of the ranking were Switzerland, $7,219, Luxembourg, $6,025, and the United States, $4,523. The lowest salaries are recorded in Cuba, $37, Egypt, $145, and Nigeria, $147. The price of clothing will soar by almost a quarter by the end of 2024. According to a survey of 150 Russian brands and an analysis of the state of the market, the cost of clothing may increase by 22% due to higher prices for raw materials and other production costs. Tracking terrorists. In Moscow, on Arbat, an Honor smartphone exploded in the hands of a man during an Israeli cyber attack, MASH reports. The victim received hand injuries, but fled without waiting for an ambulance. The security forces are currently looking for him. The device is being checked for connections to the latest news from Beirut, where Mossad could have replaced equipment in the Middle East. The chat is unverified. I do not endorse the views expressed. Be wary of disinformation and DYOR.